Hello everyone, this is Ricardo Lund, head engineer of Rakoon Sound Studios, and I want to welcome you guys to another one of our tips and tricks show, where we share information of how we use our equipment and make music. And this time we're going to be reviewing the OP-1, which is a small little synth with a bunch of tricks inside of it. I find it pretty interesting, so we'll get right into the review and see what you guys think. So we have the OP-1 right in front of us, and this is an interesting synth or sampler also. It does a lot of things. It's also like a workstation, so you can make complete tracks inside of it. So in this tutorial, I'm just going to show you the basic functions of how it works and how you can get some music done with this in a basic way. So first, I'm going to talk about the form factor of the synth. It's a battery-powered synth, pretty small footprint, really portable. The build quality is really good. It's all made out of metal, and the keys also feel pretty nice. The navigation is also pretty straightforward. And like I said, it has a bunch of functions up its sleeve. It also has a built-in speaker if you don't have any headphones on you, and it has on one side it has a USB connector where you can update the synth, and you can also sync it via MIDI with a converter that transforms MIDI into USB. So now let's get into what it really does. Now it has a synth page here where you can pick a lot of synths available to you. So this is an example. It has this pulse synth. So if I change to this track, and I can see now a list of all the synths that we have available. We have this DNA synth. I don't think we're gonna get over all of the synths that this has to offer and all of the types of presets that it has, but we're gonna cover the most we can. So it has this cluster synth that's pretty good for bass lines and stuff. As you can see, these 4 knobs here, they control different parameters in the synth, so it will change the sound as you tweak them. Right. If we go again here on the cluster synth, we have a few presets to give you a taste of what this synth engine can do. So this is obviously a bass sound. Now this can be like a lead sound. Again, some strings. Some interesting atmospheric sounds, another bass sound, some keys, and so on. Then it has this digital synth that also is pretty interesting. We can tweak the sound like so. Also, the screen is pretty nice. It looks pretty crazy. But basically with all these 4 knobs, they tweak parameters in the synth. So then it has a few others. If I press shift and the track that I'm working on, it has this DNA synth. But again, pretty crazy sounds with this one. I love the graphics in this. Kind of lets you know what you're doing in a weird way. So if we go on that DNA synth and we check some of the presets, you can see it has some pretty aggressive sounds in this synth. Right. Then next to that we have this Dr. Wave, which can also be adjusted with this. As you can see, like the knobs, they can change the tone of the sound pretty quickly and pretty drastically. So let's check out a few more presets in that synth. And as you can see on the screen, everything that's labeled blue is gonna be moved with the blue knob, and everything that's labeled green is gonna be with the green knob, and so on. When you see stuff in the screen that looks white, it's gonna be tweakable with the white knob, and stuff in the screen that looks orange or red is gonna be tweakable with the red or orange knob. So let's check out a few more presets of these sounds. So as you can see, a wide variety of sounds. Then we have this D-synth right here. Looks like this. Also, you can tweak this like that. With the white knob, you can change the attack time, short. Change the shape of the waveform with this one. And if you press this shift button and move the knobs, it will change something different. So here we go with this one. We press the shift and the white one, it will change the decay. And for the blue one, I think it has kind of like an LFO feature here. Anyway, it's pretty cool synth. But let's check some more presets of that sound, of that particular engine. These are some of the examples of the sounds that you can do using that. So anything from bass to leads to effects. Alright, so changing synth, we're gonna go to this FM synth. It looks like this. So you can make it kind of more aggressive or a little more dull. That kind of is acting like a filter right now. Alright, so let's check a few of the presets that one has to offer. Yeah, like the other one, you have a wide range of sounds that you can get out of this engine. Now let's check out this phase synthesizer. How we can tweak it. I see this synth actually as a really good experimentation synth, because what you're tweaking in the parameters is not like really straightforward. When you're actually tweaking the knobs, you're moving actually a few parameters inside the engine. So, but let's check out some of the sounds that one has to offer. Again, it's pretty crazy, pretty wide what you can do. After that, we have the pulse synth, which is the one that we were using before. So it's easily tweakable. You can really fast go from one tone drastically to another. If we go to some of the presets that pulse synth has, so some basses, some leads, some pads here. Okay, it's pretty cool. Then we have the sampler here, which actually you can sample stuff into it. You can use the built-in mic that this has, or you can connect an auxiliary cable and sample stuff from your phone, and then you can play it, but it comes preloaded with some different sounds. The sampler looks like this, just shows you the waveform that you loaded in. So if I move the green knob, it's gonna be the start point. The white knob is gonna be the end of it. And the red knob is gonna be also. The white knob is gonna be actually the loop, and the red is gonna be the end of it, and the green is the start point, and actually the blue is also kind of like a start point here. It's pretty crazy. Let's check out some of the sounds that come preloaded on that, and that is like I said, you can sample stuff into it. So for example, if I pick the sampler here and I go on this button here, that is the microphone, it says press a key to sample, so I'm just gonna say hello, 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 right? So now we have that sample right there. Hello, 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 as you can see. Hello, 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 hello. Hello, 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 hello. Pretty fun stuff. So that goes for the. We have the string synthesizer, which is pretty good for like guitar sounding things. We can tweak it, make it a little drier, or kind of distort a little bit, make it a little brighter with this. And let's check out again some of the presets that it has to offer. So again, this one really good for those either guitar or piano or any string kind of plucked sound, which is pretty cool. And then finally we have this voltage synth, which looks like this. Raise the octave. So there are some presets for that too. Anyway, so those are the synth engines that you have. Now I'm gonna go into the drums. So it comes preloaded with some kits. And again, you can, this is again the sampler for the drums. And you have some different kits for that, so some pretty nice drum sounds. Etc. You can pick a bunch of these sounds here. And that's, like I said, the sampler for the drums, so you can load up your own samples into that. And then you have this D box, which looks like this, and it's like a synth for drums. So you can create your you can create the drum sounds yourself. You can design them. You can get pretty crazy with this. Alright. Okay, so that goes for the synth and the drum sounds. Now, if we go on page 1, I'm gonna go back to the synth page. We have the sounds right here, and if we go on page 1, we're gonna get a view of the synth on the screen. If we go on page 2, we're gonna get a view on the amplitude envelope of that. So I can switch the envelope, make it either like a fast attack or a very slow attack. Can bring the sustain down. Can make it really short. So that's gonna be for your amp envelope. Number 3 is gonna be effects. So right now it has no effects, but the effects is one of the coolest parts in this synth. So if we press Shift and 3, we can pick the different types of effects that we can apply. You can only apply one effect per sound. So we have this delay, for example. So we have control over the feedback here, the speed, and how much input we send to that. And this acts kind of like a tape delay. When you change the speed, it will pitch up or down. So that's the delay. If we change to this grid, this is gonna be kind of like a reverb. Or actually, sorry, this is gonna be also like a delay. So we can put a little more. Pretty cool. Now, if we change over to this nitro, this is gonna be like a filter. So we have the high pass, low pass, I'm sorry. So you're gonna filter all the high frequencies with this. Here we can filter all the high frequencies, filter all the low frequencies. So this is gonna be like a high pass filter. And then I guess this is like a drive for the filter. Or actually like a filter envelope, this the green knob. And then the white knob is going to be the resonance. So you can keep with your sound design using all these tools here. Then we have this phone, which is kind of like a distortion, I would say. Pretty cool. Then we have the punch, which is gonna be sort of like a compressor. Right. Then we have a spring reverb. So you can also tweak it, make it really short or really long. Give a little more density to the reverb, I guess, with the blue note. And then this just acts as a dry wet right note. After that, those are the effects. I forgot the CWO, which is, I think, a really fun filter. It's a really fun effect. It's kind of like a delay as well, but it can get pretty crazy. It has this little cow too that I like. So pretty crazy. Yeah, I really like this for creating some sound effects and stuff. So we can always turn off the effect by pressing Shift and 3, or just 3, and then we have no effect. And finally, on page number 4, you have the LFO, so you can assign stuff to the LFO, and you can pick between a few LFOs here. For now, we're just gonna go with this value one. And what basically that little wheel with the colors, it tells you what it's modulating, so we can switch that to the red, to the green, let's say. So again, you know, this allows you to have a really strong control over the sound design of your sound. But anyway, so that's these 4 pages. Remember, this one is for the synth, this one is for the amp envelope, this one is gonna be your effect, and this is gonna be the LFO. Now we also have if I go on the recording part, which has this little tape machine here, where you have 4 tracks into which you can record. So for example, you can have in one track, you can have your drums. On the second track, you can have your bass. On the third track, you can have some chords, and on the fourth track, you can have a melody, for example. So as you can see, you can select a track, and then next to it you have a little mixer where you can control the levels of each of the tracks. Right up here we have the metronome, which is gonna allow you to select what tempo you're recording. So I'm gonna pick 125 for now, and now I'm gonna show you the other cool part of this, which is the sequencer. So we're gonna go back to the drums, and I'm gonna switch for I'm not gonna use that debugs, I'm just gonna use one of the sampler. So now we use this Quark preset, and as you can see there, now this page here allows you to enter the little sequencers. So right now I have, if I press Shift and the sequencers, you have the different sequencers that you can pick from. So we're gonna go first to this arpeggiator, which allows you to, you know, just press the notes and it will repeat them. You can also, with the blue knob, you can change the tempo at which, the speed at, or the rate at which the arpeggiator does its thing. So right. So you can pick also, you can pick the way, the order that it repeats the notes with this the green knob, and with the white knob you just so pretty cool, you know. It's pretty easy to get some crazy ideas that you wouldn't be able to come up with your regular software or any other synth. Also, if we press this and do this hold, it will just hold it for me. So now I can go on this amp page and kind of tweak the stuff here. Take off the hold, and now yeah, we're we stop playing it unless we play something. After that, we have this endless pattern, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna go actually into that endless pattern when we get some melodies going on. Then we have this finger one, which in case of the drums is these monkeys. So each key is gonna have a different pattern loaded pretty much, and you can change those up, but we can have that one right there, and then the other monkey is gonna play another pattern over it, and then as you can see I can leave it in hold and it will play it for me. After that we have the pattern, which is a regular kind of like a MIDI pattern. So this acts pretty much like as a regular sequencer where you add your notes where you want them to be, and then it just plays them for you. So you can, if I press shift and clear all these notes, hold on, with the blue one, I can put some bass drums right there. So if I press shift and hear another bass drum, then we can put some hats, I guess, here. So another hat. Here with the green knob we adjust the swing of it, but let's put some hats right there. Oops, there's a hat that I wanted to put there. So let's, okay, with the blue knob we will delete it, and here we will put, oh shoot, let's have a hat. So again that little thing. Okay, let's put a hat there, and then in here we'll put another hat, and let's put some bass drums in there. Just create a 4 on the floor. So, and then with the white key you kind of select the number of steps. So you can have 16 steps. So you get the idea. After that we have this sketch, which is a pretty weird synth, a pretty weird sequencer, where you pretty much make a drawing and it yeah, I'm not sure. So pretty much, as you can see, it kind of plays what the drawing has. So pretty crazy, pretty unusual. You can make your own drawing. I'm not gonna delete this one, but you kind of get the idea. It's a pretty experimental tool. And then we have this tombola here, which allows you to put some different notes right there, and then you can kind of move it with this, and yeah, pretty random. You can get, every time the little balls touch the walls, they're gonna make sounds. So pretty interesting, something unusual. I guess pretty cool for creating random rhythmical parts or textures. So again, you can tweak the stuff, make it sound a little more. You can move it again. So I find this thing really funny. We can stop it now. So as you can see, it has some conventional sequencers, as well as some pretty random and experimental ones, like this tombola or the drawing one. So that goes for the sequencers. Now I'm gonna get real quick into the recording part. So for this, I'm just gonna pick the finger, which was the monkeys, and we're gonna start recording a rhythm. So we got the monkey selected right here, and if I press this one, which is the tape, I'm gonna select track 1, and I'm gonna set a loop here. So shift and press 1 here, and that says in, so that's the beginning of the loop. And then I can move with shift and the arrow. So this is 1 bar, 2 bars, 3 bars, and 4 bars, and I can set the out right here. So we have 4 bars right here. Right now, as you can see, I have the monkeys playing. So I can press that, and if I hold this recording button right here and I start playing some keys, it's gonna record that into. And as you can see, it has recorded that. So now we have a rhythm going right there. Right, we can go back. And now we are gonna pick track 2, and for this one we're gonna create a bass. So we're gonna go again to the synths. We're gonna pick the synth. I guess we're gonna change the preset of that, and we are going to use this D-synth maybe. Okay, create a bass with that. So again, I'm gonna go to a sequencer, and now I want to go and show you this endless sequencer. So pretty much for the endless, you can enter notes. So by pressing shift, you can do that. And now if I go on, if I press, we will cycle through all those notes that I entered. You can also change the time at which it cycles. Right. And you can also enter some spaces in between the notes. So I can enter 1 note, then 2 spaces, the second note, then another space, the other notes, then another one, and then an empty space for the last one. I'm gonna do 8 steps so that we get a regular pattern. You can also obviously go like as much as you think as 100 steps, but there we have a basic baseline. So if I press other notes, it's just gonna transpose what I entered. So if I play C, it's gonna play actually what I recorded in. So if I go back on the tape machine and I press track 2, I'm gonna again hold the record button, and press the C button. So now we have a rhythm and a bass line. Cool. Now if I press shift in the back arrow, it will go back to the beginning or by 1 bar. So now we're gonna switch to track 3, and for this one we're gonna make some chords. So I'm gonna pick another synth. Maybe we'll pick this FM one, and let's see what we got here. Actually, let's pick another synth. Okay, and right now, as you can see, we are in the sequencer. The sequencer is still enabled, but we're gonna create some chords with this. So if I press shift also in here, where was this? Yeah, if we press shift on number 2, we can select it, our synth to be poly, or we can do mono or legato or unison. So I'm just gonna select poly for this, and we can also select the portamento, how much portamento we want on that. So now I'm just gonna create like a high sustained sound. Right, so we can create some chords. And another cool thing about this this endless one is that we can create some chords by pressing a chord here, and we can just change the number of steps. So I'm gonna make it 16 steps. So I'm gonna adjust the release on that a little bit, so that, and it has a little bit of reverb right now. So as you can see, we created kind of like a chord machine with this. So right, so pretty cool. Okay, so we have a nice pad right there, and I'm gonna go back to the tape. So again, let's press stop, go back to the beginning, and let's start recording some chords. We have now some harmonies right there. Now we're gonna go finally to the 4th page, the 4th track, and we're gonna record a little melody into that. So for that I'm gonna use this finger again, but finger, when we're using synth, we get this crazy keyboardist right here. So we go up octaves, and I'm gonna change synth. So let's pick, I don't know, maybe this pulse. Let's change the envelope for that. Make a quick and short sound. And let's take off this delay. So let's try. So you get those crazy keyboardists. playing some random melodies again, like in the same way as the monkeys. You can create the sequence that you want, but let's try if some of this random stuff works on what we have. So that's cool. So we're probably gonna filter out the sound a little bit. Let's try tweaking the sound a little bit here. I'm gonna go track 4, synth, and okay, that's fun. And let's assign a little bit of an effect here. Let's do a little bit of delay. So that's fine. We'll reduce the feedback a little bit. Cool. So we're gonna go back to the try to make that a little higher actually on the synth. So that's cool. So let's go back to the beginning, track 4, press the record button, and we're gonna press that. As you can see, now we have a full track full of all the elements right there, created in a really unconventional way. Now we could keep adding stuff to the tracks. We could layer as much as we want on the tracks. So for example, I could go to the track where we have the melody and add some extra stuff. So I'm just gonna go into maybe, hold on one second, I messed up here. Let's set the loop as we had it. So we had a loop of 1, 2, 3, 4. Set the end there. Alright, and what we're gonna do is go on the synth and pick, we have 8 banks for synths, so we're gonna replace that for something that I'm gonna record something into it. So I'm just gonna say a funny word like I don't know, what's up. I'm not feeling too creative today, so I'm gonna go here, what's up. So if I go back on the synth, hold on one second, are we on the synthesizer? Yeah, let's go on the synth, and what's up? So if we go back, hang on a second, let me go to this one and let's go to sampler. Alright, so now we're in sampler. What's up? So let's change the endpoints here. some reason it's not catching it. Get rid of the... Right. So we're just gonna pick the what. And we're gonna set it here to can gain it. Alright, so let's go back to the tape. Probably raise the volume in this. So we're gonna go back to the... Actually, stay on track 4. Let's go to the synth and raise the volume in this. Okay, that's fine. For this example. Well, if I press this record button and play, it's gonna start recording and playing. So I'm gonna start recording some what's ups. As you can see, we recorded something into it. So yeah, that's kind of like the workflow of the OP-1. It's like I said, is a pretty powerful tool, especially for experimentation. It lends itself for ideas that you really wouldn't come up with normally, especially when you start using the sampler and the effects. So it's a pretty cool machine. It's also pretty portable. The battery lasts forever. I swear I've had this machine for a couple of years and I've only charged it maybe like 6 times, and then like I don't know how they did it, but the battery never dies. Then again, you know, we can actually mix this, bring the drums a little louder. So I created a fun little loop right there. Again, then finally, to finalize this, you can also double that loop, so you can copy all of that. If I press shift, it will highlight all the 4 tracks, and if I press this up arrow, it will lift them, so it will just pretty much like copy them. So now you see that they're gone, but if I press the down arrow, it will copy that, right? So then it takes me to the next 4 bars, and I can press it again, and so on. So now I can have, instead of having a 4-bar loop, I can have an 8-bar loop. So and you can keep adding stuff to it, you know. As I said, you can make a full length song. I think the amount of time that it lets you record in the tape is 6 minutes. So that's plenty to make a track. It's a pretty fun little tool. I use it in the studio all the time when I kind of run out of ideas, you know, when I make some random quirky stuff. So definitely I recommend it for anyone that wants to have some fun. You can also connect an antenna to the sampling part and you can sample the radio if you want, so it's pretty cool. Really unique machine, like no other synth that we have here in the studio. So yeah, that's the OP-1. Thank you guys for watching this review on the OP-1. We hope you guys enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you're located in the Miami area, please don't hesitate to contact us if you need help with music production, DJing, recording, or studio time. This is Ricardo Lund. I'm leaving the website down below, and I'll see you next time.